So your
Correct.
role is just not a business analyst. You
Hmm.
can expand from a business analyst to an
Hmm.
SME to a complete governance guy. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
if you have that zeal and if you have that inclination towards technology, you can also become a program manager for RPA for that particular domain.
Hello and welcome back on my YouTube channel, Parth Doshi Learning by Doing. So we are again back with our fourth video in this series of Behind the Automation, Processes, Businesses and More. If you have already seen the first three videos, we have got really amazing feedback for that. And I will highly suggest that you go ahead and watch that videos to learn about the non-technical part, the strategical part of the automation process. Now today we are back again with one another important discussion. During an automation process, we always focus more on the technical part. We focus on if the solution is designed to be scalable and many different aspects of the solution architecture. Then we also see if the developer has followed the best practices or not. But before even all of this starts, there are people in team who play a very important role. They are business analysts and SMEs that are needed in an automation team. So, hey Shripad, let me ask you our today's question, and then we can start our discussion with that. All right. So, Shripad, what my question to you is, right? Like I was just explaining to our viewers that we always talk about if the solution is very well designed, if the developer has followed the best practices or not. But with all of this, right, I want to understand how important is the role of business analyst or a SME, like we have discussed in our previous videos as well, where we were talking about SMEs while setting up RPACO in the very first video of our series, right? So I want to understand how important their role is and what is that they bring to the team. So if you can help with that.
Hey, thanks, Parth. That's a wonderful question, and I'm glad again to be on this podcast and running on this series. And I'll
Yep.
quickly jump onto your question.
Yep.
Uh, See, SMEs and the business analysts, these are non-technical guys, okay? And how the technical team is important for on an automation to scale up.
Right.
Similarly, the non-tech team, which is your SME and business analyst, are also important for scaling up automations. And why they are important is first, they have domain expertise, okay?
Correct.
The second bit is they can help you in optimize the process. Okay. The third thing is they can go ahead and translate your uh, business requirements. All right.
Correct.
And finally, they can help you in collaborate with your business folks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where they play a major role. And let's not forget about change management.
Right.
Change management is something which is very important, and this cannot be
Mm-hmm.
driven by the technical teams, and this always gets driven by the non-tech guys like a business analyst or the SME. And
Right.
due to these reasons, okay, uh, I feel the SMEs, which are the non-tech teams, would really add value. Okay, and these cannot be overlooked.
Right.
Uh, that's very critical to business as well as
Correct.
to automation. And for me, the business analyst and the SMEs are the are the bridge between the tech teams and
Mm-hmm.
the business. That's how I
Correct.
look at them. Yeah.
Correct, correct. Yeah, and I think that's also really important. See, when we start with the development, right? As a developer, that is one thing that I've observed, right? Let's suppose I'm working on some banking automation process, right, or a healthcare. So their business process, which is there, right? I have to spend more time on understanding that rather than building the automation itself, right? So I also need to understand in a way how that manual process is performed, and I think there is where I connect with the business analyst or the SMEs that are part of the team and understand how they do it manually or how they use their expertise to understand that complete process as well. So with that, let me come to my next question. Can we just highlight that what are the documentations that a business analyst works on? If you can just highlight on that.
See, the documentation that these guys work on varies from various COEs. Okay,
Okay.
it's not constant for each COA, or it's not standardized. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere they call as process design document,
Correct.
somewhere they call as a requirement specification document,
Okay.
and somewhere they call it as SOPs. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but in the end, it is the domain expertise
Right.
that comes part of those documentation. Okay. In
Right.
the documentation, you would get process flows,
Mm-hmm.
which are as is, and
Okay.
then you also go ahead and get business exceptions as part of that particular process. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
Correct.
there could be out of scope and in scope sort of activities listed over there
All
as
right.
part of the documentation. The documentation also involves multiple business templates,
Mm-hmm.
also involves applications that are required for that particular process to be looked at for automation. And
Mm-hmm.
it all if you have a well knit team which looks at process mining also, then you would also understand that what is it like the KPI that gets driven out of these processes. So
Correct.
this ideally comes out from a matured team which has all the
Mm-hmm.
documentation in play. So
Right.
KPIs and tracking of KPIs, which I spoke, it always
Mm-hmm.
happens with mature teams. But
Right.
since
Right.
we are talking about a global perspective, I think these are the only uh, documentations that the business analyst works at the initial stages. Okay.
Right.
If you're
Right.
looking at the later stage, then it is about UAT.
Mm-hmm.
It is about
Correct.
following up with business to build the test scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
to include all the test scenarios with regards to test cases, with regards to failure cases, and also uh, following up on synops. And finally, once that is done, they also play a major role in change management. Now, this change
Correct.
management is with regards to CR getting deployed, with
Mm-hmm.
regards to bots in production. Okay.
Okay.
So that change management, following up on approvals, following up on time when the bot should be made live, following up on the frequency of the bots,
Right.
following up on when to get the report delivered, uh, following up on if the failure has happened on the bot and you get a response from the tech team, how to
Right.
manage it as an exigency. This is also
Mm-hmm.
part of a business analyst or an SME role. So these are a couple of things that we should look at as part of documentation and a process.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was very helpful, Shripad. And with that, so like you see, like there are so many community events happening, and I've been part of many community events as a speaker or mentorship programs as well. So in that, I have met some people through UiPath community that they already have 10, 12 years of experience in a certain industry. Let's consider it banking, healthcare, or manufacturing, supply chain, and all of that, right? And when they come to me saying that I want to switch my career into RPA, right? So obviously, like I suggest them some of the academic courses that they can grow through, right? Or one of the role that I feel which best fits for them could be business analyst or SMEs, right? Being an SME for that particular company or for that particular automation processes. So what are your views on that for people who want to switch their career from XYZ domain having 10, 12 years of experience and move into RPA or automation industry?
I think this role is quite a liquid role. Okay. I would
Mhm.
not look this role as only a business analyst role. Okay.
Okay.
If you have a domain expertise, okay, for
Mm-hmm.
example, healthcare, okay,
Correct.
as an healthcare professional, you would help in understanding or giving an understanding to the tech teams on how the appointments are scheduled, how the
Right.
claims are processed, how the
Right.
medical procedures would go on, what are the industry standards that we need to meet. Okay.
Right.
all
Right.
this information is known to a domain expert. If you
Hmm.
have that expertise, okay, then you have a gold mine sitting with you. Okay, you can
Right.
go ahead and bridge the gap between the tech team and what your business wants. So your
Hmm.
role is not a business analyst over here. Your role becomes quite holistic. You can also govern whether the process that is being delivered is meeting business requirements before business is signing it off. Okay. You
Correct.
can also go ahead and suggest some process optimizations because you are
Right.
experienced. You know
Right.
there is a pitfall that is likely to happen ahead, and
Right.
what could be the measures that you could take. You could
Hmm.
also
Hmm.
suggest that this particular process needs a lot of paperwork. Can we introduce some sort of OCR
Hmm.
engineer which can read through it? Can we
Okay.
put these documents into a form so that it
Hmm.
becomes easy for a
Correct.
digital journey? Okay, so
Correct.
these sort of
Correct.
things also come in play. So your role as a business analyst is quite a controlled one, but now
Yes.
you are going beyond your limits. Okay, you're
Right.
using your own experience to further facilitate. And finally, it's all about collaboration, all
Right.
about change management.
Right.
Because automation once is delivered, you need to train your employees on how to use it. You need
Hmm.
to train your
Hmm.
customers on how to use it. This can
Correct.
only be done by a person who has that domain expertise. You and me cannot
Right.
go ahead and
Right.
teach a employee on how to fill the scheduled appointments,
Right.
which
Right.
MR
Right.
should I go to, right?
Hmm.
So all
Hmm.
this
Hmm. Hmm.
information will only come from a domain expertise guy. So your
Correct.
role is just not a business analyst. You
Hmm.
can expand from a business analyst to an
Hmm.
SME to a complete governance guy. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Okay.
if you have that zeal and if you have that inclination towards technology, you can also become a program manager for RPA for that particular domain. Okay. And nowadays, you need jack of all trades, master of
Right.
none. That's for
Right.
sure. Okay.
Right.
But somewhere when you're growing up the ladder, you need to be master of some sort of a domain. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
is where I'm detailing a domain expertise guy should not only focus on business analyst. There is quite a good career growth
Right.
if you harness your knowledge in the right way with the help of
Right.
technology. That's my view about.
Okay. Okay. No, I think that was very insightful, and I think this video will be really helpful for the people who are not only trying to switch their careers, but also the people who are currently working as business analyst, right? So it can
Mm.
help them also that how they can grow in their career or what are the things that they can do to maybe upskill themselves or get a better opportunity in future, right? So I think that was very insightful, Shripad, and again thank you for sharing your knowledge with the viewers of my channel, and let's connect again to discuss some more interesting questions on the non-technical side of the automation industry. Thank you, Shripad.
Gracias. Thank you.